wasn't going to kick it all off on Thanksgiving. That wouldn't make for happy holidays. Happy holidays. Who was she kidding? The upcoming holidays weren't going to be happy no matter what. "Well, I see your point," said Ginny. "But good luck pulling off the old sleep apnea deception." Their first customer of the day came in, and that ended all talk of Michelle's marriage miseries, which was fine with her. Focusing on her miserable relationship didn't exactly put a smile on her face, and wearing a perpetual frown was no way to greet shoppers. After work, she stopped at the grocery store and picked out the last of what she needed for Thanksgiving. The whipped cream for the fruit salad, and to top the pumpkin and pecan pies, the extra eggnog for Shyla, her eggnog addict, Dove dark chocolates for Audrey, and Constant Comment tea, which was Hazel's favorite. Hazel, world's best mother-in-law. When Michelle and Max divorced, he'd take Hazel and Warren, her second parents, with him. The thought made it hard to force a smile for the checkout clerk. She stepped out of line. She needed one more thing. She hurried back to the candy aisle and picked up more dark chocolate, this time for her personal stash. Hazel and Warren were the first to arrive, coming in the day before Thanksgiving, Hazel bringing pecan pie and the makings for her famous Kahlua yams. "Hello, darling," Hazel said, greeting her with a hug. "You look lovely as always. I do wish I had your slender figure," she added as they stepped inside. "You look fine just the way you are," Michelle assured her. "I swear, the older I get, the harder the pounds cling to my hips," Hazel said. "You look fine, hon," said Warren, as he gave Michelle one of his big bear hugs. "She's still as pretty as the day I met her," he told Michelle. "Yes, all 20 new wrinkles and 5 new pounds, on top of the others," Hazel said with a shake of her head. "Who notices pounds when they're looking at your smile?" Michelle said to her. "Here, let me take your coats." Hazel set down the shopping bag full of goodies and shrugged out of her coat with the help of her husband. "Where's our boy?" Who knew? Who cared? "Out running errands," she said. "I'll text him that you're here. First, let's get you settled." "I'm ready for that," Hazel said. "The drive from Oregon gets longer every time." "It's not that far," Warren said, and followed her up the stairs. Half an hour later, Max had returned, and he and his father were in the living room, the sports channel keeping them company, and the two women were in the kitchen enjoying a cup of tea. The yams were ready and stored in the fridge, and the pecan pie was in its container, resting on the counter next to the pumpkin pie Michelle had taken out of the oven. A large pot of vegetable soup was bubbling on the stove, and French bread was warming. It would be a light evening meal to save everyone's tummy room for the next day's feast. "I'm looking forward to seeing the girls," Hazel said. "So am I," said Michelle. She hated that all her girls had moved so far away. Not that she minded hopping a plane to see either Audrey or Shyla. It wasn't a long flight from SeaTac International to either San Francisco International or LAX. But it also wasn't the same as having them living nearby. Julia wasn't as easily accessible, which made her absence harder to take. She'd been the final baby bird to leave the nest, and dealing with her departure had been a challenge. Perhaps because she was the last, perhaps because it seemed she grew up and left all in one quick motherly blink. College, the boyfriend, the pregnancy, marriage, then moving. It had been painful to let go of her baby, and even more so with that baby taking the first grandchild with her. Maybe in some ways, though, it wasn't a bad thing that her daughters were living in different states, because they hadn't been around to see the final deterioration of their parents' marriage. Michelle hoped they still wouldn't see it. She consulted her phone. It was almost time for Audrey's flight to land. Shyla's was getting in not long after. "Audrey's going to text when they're here," she said. "It will be lovely to all be together again," said Hazel. "Family is so important." Was that some sort of message? A subtle judgment? "How about some more tea?" Michelle suggested.